Hey, Offen here with a 21 vault key from this week. It's teaming volcanic and tyrannical. And just right off the bat, I just want to point out that if you have the high command trinkets, then equip it. It's really strong on these kind of pulls. I simply forgot it. I forgot to equip it. So I just throw a dot out on all the targets and go into Void Eruption and then try and dot the rest of the mobs along. Because in these kind of pulls, you really rely on trinkets to carry your DPS because they die too fast. And you just pop Dispersion here into the mini boss, pop your Mindbender, and then you can do some pretty good damage to her. And he pulls the ass here. Just throw Silence, throw a couple of dots out, proc my Cephas, and just keep going on the mini boss. And Vault here is it's not really a very shadow friendly dungeon. There's a lot of burst packs, and some of the bosses are really awkward when it comes to especially your Mindbender usage, because they will go into different phases when you don't really want them to. And on these packs here, I just try and dot up the big guys. I let the Warlock and Monk do their thing on the smaller ones. It takes too long anyway for me to dot all of them up. And they're not gonna win you any time, so just focus the big guys. My Dispersion is ready again, so I will just pop it here right as they die. I was hoping he went for the big pull, but he chose not to. So just going in, pop my Arcane Torrent there to proc my Cephas, because I'm not too worried about the interrupts when it's not fortified. Here my Mindbender is on cooldown, so I'll pump my Vampiric Touches into all the targets, then one Shadow Word Pain and Mind Flay until I can go into Void form. And after that I'll just dot the rest of the mobs up with the Shadow Word Pain. Yeah, I know I can stay in my Void form if I just get a quick pull, so I just pulled for him. I wanted to throw my Mind Bomb, but he went out of range for a second there. And this fight is a really good, well, it's a fun Shadow fight. Because Shadow is really good at these short burst movement fights. And this is where you want to use your Void Ball to move around. So whenever you cast a Void Ball, you try and position yourself. Especially with this annoying beam that's going around all the time. So you'll see whenever I cast my Void Ball, I'll just move a bit around this well here. Just so I know, so I never get in a uncomfortable spot with the beam. And yeah, just proc your Cephas on the ads instantly. Yeah, the most important thing I can point out as Shadow here is just the movement, where you use your Void Bolt to move around, because you have like half a second every Void Bolt to just move a little bit. And I really like using mouse over macros for these situations, because else I'll end up ping-ponging my Shadow Fiend on the ads, and I don't want that. It's gonna mess up the Void form. I tunnel the ads here, I get really lucky on the hatred. The Warlock not so much. Yeah, every time I cast the Void Ball I move. And speaking of getting carried by your trinkets, try notice my spike of damage here. I've never been this lucky with procs in my life. I almost felt like a warlock for a second. Like here, just almost 15 million. It's so lucky that's all trinket damage. And if it's possible, once this mini boss dies, if there's an imp close, just pull it and use it to build up insanity, so you can just go into void form once you pull the next boss. And yeah, I checked the damage here, like look, 60 million damage from both trinkets. That's just insane. And this is one of the bosses that can be really annoying with your Mindbender usage, but once it gets up in really high tyrannicals, it's not too bad. And as you show you, I master spelled the first one. You can master spell every second sap soul to proc your Cephas. And if I don't master spell, I'll just use my barrier. The awkward thing with Mindbender here is that on lower keys especially, he's gonna jump away way too soon. And if you have eyes in range, you can use them to build insanity for once the ad spawns, so you can just go into void form real quick. The tank got disoriented here, so the boss just kills the luck. Yeah. Cephas is ready, master spell. I should have just stood in that volcanic, but I was trying to be a good guy. And I didn't proc my Cephas here because I know he's gonna teleport in a second. So I want it for the next set of ads. And just dot up the eyes and kill some of them. Yeah, lock my vampiric touch. Some misplay. I also put myself in a bit awkward position. Like ideally you wanna have the boss between you and the eyes, so you can just look straight forward and not worry about the disoriented. And we need to pull a couple of ads. But there's no bolster this week, so it's no problem. I'm gonna make a fool out of myself on this pull. Proccing my Cephas here, strafing left and right like I used to, and then I fall off, make a fool of myself. Struggling to get back up. Oh, that was rough. You'll see I'll pop dispersion here in a second. Because when those two Scorches die, they will do some nasty group damage. Especially when it's high fortified weeks. You gotta be a bit careful with those. And I'll drop out of Void Form here. And I'll just keep on to my insanity, not worry about the DPS on this guy. I always like it when I don't have to build up insanity for the bosses. So if I can save it without losing too much, I'll usually do it. And this is one of those awkward bosses. It's really annoying as Shadow if you're playing with Mindbender. Because for the first phase here, I'm just gonna pop my Mindbender on pull, as he'll go into the second phase real fast. So you're not gonna get a full Void Form off on the first one. So you might as well just use it on the pull. I just stack up on the boss. It's a lot less stressful. You're gonna have less of the balls flying around. And I actually walked into the beam there. I'm just happy it didn't one-shot me. Because even though it looks like I move quite a lot in this fight, it doesn't hurt my DPS that much, because Shadow is really strong at these short burst movement. As I said on the first boss, if you just move once you use your Void Balls, it should be no problem on this boss. Unfortunately, we didn't have the DPS to one face him here, so he'll go into another one. The Lock didn't have the run of his life. He was struggling a bit. Yeah, this boss, there's not a whole lot to say about it. It's a decent Shadow fight, as you can get Twist of Fate from the ads. Then again, for the first freeze you're still gonna be at low stack, so you're not gonna have that big burst once he's frozen, which is quite annoying. The ass spawn, get your Cephas proc from the snipe, and that damn monk, he just one-shotted the ad. I didn't even get Twist of Fate. It's ridiculous. Again here, got high stacks. I use mouse over. I just mouse over the ads and dot them. It's just the easiest way, at least for me, to control my mind bender. And there's so much running in this dungeon. Without doing anything really. Yeah, just in my speed set here. For gear sets, I have 6 different gear sets right now for whatever we need. There's Pridus, avoidance sets and speed sets and pure single targets. And yeah, you can jump through the elevator if you just run along the wall and jump. Once it goes up, you'll fall through it. DK didn't know that, but once we pull this, I just use my mind bender. It's gonna give me the insanity I need into the void form. Some kind of burst damage, I guess. And here he's just gonna pull big. And all you can do is hope for your trinkets to proc and carry you. I just tap through all of them, then go into void form. And yeah, pop your dispersion. Shouldn't need it. Defensive anyway. Even though that vengeance was being a bit mean. And yeah, sometimes you have to use your void torrent to save it, to just breathe for a moment before you dot up the rest of them. Else you're gonna drop out of your void form. And here's why we bring a Shadow Priest. Look at that rest timer, man. No one wanted to do the light on this boss, so I just went ahead and did it. And I tend to overdo it and have a bit too much fun throwing it around. I'll also do it on this ball. Well, I'll just forget all about my mind bender and my insanity. And it's also really annoying as a Shadow Priest if you have to have the light here, because you're gonna get stunned from the ad. That's rough to your insanity if you're at high stacks. I just go into Dispersion. I was hoping to get light. The DK steals it. And yeah, 10 out of 10 throw there. Yeah, he dropped light. I'll start doing my silly stuff. Cause here, my sanity is just gone. But I'll pop my Mind Bender anyway, cause she's gonna phase at 40%. So I might as well just use it. It is, I just throw it all the time. There's no need for it. I just wanna build insanity up so you can go into void form as she drops down. And use your mind bomb to stun the ad once it spawns. And just continue in the boss. Because once you've stunned the ad, the boss loses the shield. You can just DPS her and ignore the ad. Well, not ignore it, just cleave off of it. And this is the only part of the fight where you need to be a bit careful with the glaive throw and the walls coming. Yeah, that's the run. Yeah, there's a lot of running in Bolt, so there was periods of time where I didn't talk a whole lot. But yeah, that's it. End up at 2.6 overall. It's okay, I guess. I forgot to equip the high command trinket a couple of times, and that's really where you need to min-max as a Shadow Priest, is your trinket use. But yeah, that's it for me.